Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is the Piracy Show. And today we're talking about a feature that I have been eagerly awaiting and an aggressive advocate of, which is mission sharing. It was funny how, I was kind of one of the people saying, like, this needs to be a priority and how it all of a sudden became a priority. I'm really glad that that happened. I'm really glad that CIG decided to kind of recognize, that is, kind of a core element of Star Citizen. Multi-crew really is kind of a big deal in Star Citizen. And, it's not just for the ships, but encouraging people to interact with others generally builds, I think, a stronger community. Yeah, you're going to run into the odd asshole here and there, but you run into a lot of people that you easily enjoy playing with, and when that benefits you, I think that adds extra encouragement. Now with 3.7, you share a mission, you split the rewards equally. So if there's two of you, you get a half. If there's three of you, you get a third. 33.333, repeating, of course. That percent, and so on. I would actually advocate, good first step, great idea. I would advocate for the full reward, that everyone gets the full reward. Now, some people might say, "Oh, that's kind of game breaking" or something like that. I don't think so. I think that if you kind of go full reward, then it could be seen to be encouraging shared gameplay. It's something that, a lot of games, where you have shared gameplay as part of the end game, rating, things like that, often those players will see much greater rewards. And I think that generally plays out very well. Now, of course, there is always kind of this large kind of silent majority of players. We're all very aware that they exist. And some of us have experienced this, for ourselves, who don't really enjoy, multiplayer aspects of multiplayer games. I know it sounds kind of weird, and I'm not doing it to make fun, but there are some people out there who genuinely enjoy MMOs, but maybe they work nights, or maybe they keep a strange schedule, and they can't always be at a certain place at a certain time to do group activities, or the game just kind of trains them into just kind of playing it like a single player game with some social aspects here and there. A lot of online games have this problem, right? And honestly, over the years, I've seen different approaches to try and tackle this, and most of them have entirely failed, because in a weird way, it's almost like the game developers are trying to feed the idea that playing alone is always going to work out better than playing with a group of people. And I don't, I like to see that kind of thinking I don't want to say stamped out early. I don't want to approach this the wrong way and say, no, you will play with other people or you will die. I don't want to say it like that, but I think that oftentimes people fixate on a few negative experiences rather than kind of looking at the whole. And some people like myself, when I hear people talking about all the terrible things that guilds do and all the terrible things that corps do, I can relate to some of the stories, but I'm just like, I think you were just in a shitty guild. I think you were just in a shitty org or a shitty corp, because there are people out there who just kind of collect people because it's just that thing that they do, and they want to make a guild, but when it actually comes to like running it, they're kind of clueless about it. Whereas there are people who are like, no, we're going to do group activities, we're going to do all sorts of things, we're going to get everybody rich, we're going to get everybody geared, whatever. Those are the kind of groups that you want to focus on. I've been in some shitty guilds over the years, but I've also been in some great ones, some fantastic ones. And I think that in a weird way, having had that experience, I kind of understand where people who kind of want to play by themselves come from. But at the same time, I think that it's because they've never had the really positive experiences that they don't really, they don't really fully understand what the benefits can be. And I think that a good first step would be to make the mission rewards more generous when you group up with people, to kind of get people into that mode of thinking. Like, hey, I've got this mission here where I've got to go do this, and now, you know what, I'm going to go see if anybody wants to come along with me, because now that I've got the mission, we can both do the mission, get the full reward, and maybe, I don't know, I mean, it would depend. Some people might be afraid that, someone's just going to agree to do the mission, then they're just going to kill me, steal my ship, and then fly away with it. Maybe CIG can do something that might be a little immersion breaking into that end, but I think that with the right controls and the right steps in place, you could actually create a mission that fosters teamwork and gameplay and actually makes all these multi-crew ships, which, don't be mistaken, multi-crew is a big aspect of Star Citizen. There's so many ships that are just focused so heavily on multiple people operating them at one time that I think it would be to everyone's benefit if CIG were to kind of create a mission reward system that benefited multi-crew over solo play. I don't want to say over solo play, but same rewards, but each person basically gets the full reward instead of each person gets a share. The other benefits would be more people to, let's say, you go clear out the bunker. There's thieves or whatever in the bunker, and you got to go clear them out for Hurston Dynamics. You go in there's a whole bunch of shit that they stole there, that you're like, well, I can just go and I can hand this in and get my 7,000 reward, and so get their 7,000 reward. But now that I got 2 people or 3 people with me, why don't we haul all this shit out, basically put it in my ship, fly it to Grim Hex, sell it all, and then go collect the reward. Or actually, we automatically get rewarded as soon as the mission's done anyways. But why don't we go and then we take all this stuff and then sell it all and then split the returns? Now that I've got 3 people with me, I've got somebody to haul crates with me while one person sits up in the ship and watches out in case anybody's coming. I think that kind of creating a mission system and a reward system around that, I think, would probably benefit the broader community a whole lot more. And it would kind of really cement that idea of, all right, now I've got a mission. Who wants to come with me and do this mission? I think that with the current system where we're kind of divvying up the reward as shares of that reward, when you think about a 2-person, mission running crew, 2 people, let's say, on a Cutlass going out to make deliveries, 3,000 per package each, not that bad. But when it's 3 people, what if when it's 4 people or 5? And remember the size of some of the ships that we're talking about and the amount of people that you can get on that ship, each performing vital functions on your ship. Now, all of a sudden, they're getting maybe like less than 1,000 credits for potentially an hour's worth of gameplay, or what, depending on the mission, of course. But the rewards turn into a trickle the more people that you bring along with you, right? And so you can see that when you get to the point of bringing in javelins or bringing in Idrises, it doesn't look all that good. Now, of course, later on down the line, they could introduce missions that are kind of catered towards that sort of thing, where the initial reward is so huge that a player might go and say, oh, well, you know what, it's going to be, the shares are going to be like 23,000 a piece to justify, let's say, the crew the size of an Idris or the crew the size of a Javelin. And maybe the missions that we're getting are maybe built around the idea of just a little 2-man crew. But I think that at this early stage in the game, I think you kind of want to set the idea in place that it's better to go out and play with other people. It's better to share that experience. Yeah, you're going to meet some jerks. Yeah, you're going to meet some assholes, but you might meet some people that you actually like to play with and hang out with. And I think that it's important to kind of set that early into people's minds. So I think that default, it should be a more generous system. I don't think that the rewards should be shared. I think that the rewards should be equal, as if each person kind of basically, as soon as they joined your crew, they each got their own kind of iteration on, you know, the mission itself, or their own version of the mission, and they will each get that kind of, using the package delivery, that's $7,000 and change as a reward. And through that system, they would start to experience the other, you know, not so obvious benefits of, you know, sharing, you know, the gameplay experience, which is you've got an extra person to watch your back. You got an extra person to guard your ship. You've got an extra person to, you know, carry any incidental lucky packages that you happen to find lying around, be they drugs or weapons or anything like that. I think that the rewards shouldn't be seen as something that has to be kind of shared equally amongst the players. I think that everyone should get the full reward. And yeah, it does bring in some kind of immersion questions, like, oh, like, so someone delivers a package for you, one person, and they get 7,000, but if another person delivers a package for this guy, then he's somehow paying 14,000 for it. Yeah, there are some kind of logical breaks there, but those are logical breaks that I'd be willing to take because it encourages multiplayer gameplay, while at the same time not penalizing someone for not participating in multiplayer gameplay. That's kind of my thought on the subject. Anyways, I'll see what you guys say in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.